Hello?
Did I wake you up? I can't sleep at all. This whole business just keeps turning round and round in my head.
What business, Dan?
But Kate, that argument we had, have you forgotten? I really need to talk about that again.
Oh, I guess we were both a little high-strung, that's all. But don't sweat it, okay?
Yeah, sure. Getting carried away never solves anything, does it? I must say I felt really dumb when I hung up.
Really?
Yeah, I left the door to my office open and I was convinced everybody around heard me.
I'm so embarrassed, Dan. Please say I'm sorry to your colleagues from me.
It doesn't matter, honey. Promise me that you will never put me in that state again. You're usually so delightful. I have the impression that this journey is putting more than distance between us.
Well, it's true I'm living a whole load of new and amazing experiences.
Okay, I see. And still no Hans Vorarlberg?
No.
Keep me posted. You know how important you are to me. Hurry home, huh?
I'll try. Big hug, Dan. Director.
Ah, it is you.
Director, I think I know where Helena Romansky is.
My God, you have found Helena? That is fantastic.
From my research, Helena Romansky is living in Arelbad.
Arelbad? Helena Romansky is in Arelbad.
You know the town, then? You know where it is?
Of course. It was a famous spa resort. In its heyday, Arelbad welcomed all the big wigs of the regime. To be granted a stay there was a real honor. Today, the honor has gone, along with all the generals and colonels, all washed away with the sea.
It sounds like a good place if you need to take it easy or convalesce.
I think Madame Romansky would be happier here. I think she'll prefer the peace and quiet here, the perfect tranquility of our little town.
How can I get to Arelbad?
There is one way that you can. Here in the city, there are no suitable vehicles left. But that drunk old fool living up there, he'll have something.
What drunken old fool? You mean you're not alone? What's up there?
You mean you haven't noticed the space compound on the plateau? There's still some pathetic old soldier guarding it. But he's more interested these days in reaching for another bottle than reaching for the stars.
And you think this gentleman could have a vehicle for me?
I haven't the slightest idea. If you catch him on a good day, then maybe. But good days for him are far and few between. I wish you luck.
How do I get up to the space compound, then?
There is a monorail that leads up to the Cosmodrome. When you are inside, I will activate the automatic pilot.
Why don't you come with me? After all, you're the person in the best position to convince Helena Romansky.
Unfortunately, since my accident, I seldom leave my office if I can avoid it. And it is not wise for a director to leave his city now, is it?
Okay.
I am...
Hello?
Kate! Oh, that you? How are you?
Olivia, great, just the right person. Look, have you heard of Helena Romansky?
No. Is she some Russian fashion designer?
No, she's a singer. I'm going to be meeting her soon. I've just got to find a way of reaching Arrowbad. Can you imagine how lucky I am?
Not really. Well, what relation's this singer got with the toy case? You sure you know what you're up to, Kate? You sound really different, like you're changing or something.
Look, it's like this. If I'm going to get to the end of my journey, I've got to link up this singer and the director of the Comcalsgrad Industrial City. Don't worry, I know exactly what I'm doing. Why did you say that I've changed?
I don't know, just an impression. You sound more sure of yourself, like stronger, more confident.
And that's a problem?
There you go. Just takes one word and you're up on your high horse. I'm beginning to see Dan's point of view. It's getting harder and harder to back you up all the time.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that I had a drink or two with Dan, because he wants to talk. He feels a bit lonely, you see?
And what's he been telling you?
Nothing. He just has the impression you're slipping away from him. He can't see where you're coming from anymore. Like, we went to the movies the other day, and he said that you would have loved the film, but I told him that...
You mean you're dating my fiancé?
No! No, not dating, Kate. Just propping him up while you're away. All in a good cause. I can keep an eye on him for you at the same time.
What would I do without you?
Oh, you're jealous. Huh. Well, that's a good sign. That means you want him. Now, that he'll be pleased to hear.
You seeing each other again soon?
Tomorrow night. He invited me to dinner at the Goldberg. You don't mind, do you, Kate?
No worries. Look, I've got to go, Olivia. Take care. I need a key. Excuse me. Sir?
3, 2, 1, contact! And we have liftoff! Oh, holy mother. A dame. A pretty dame on the launch pad.
Please, no need to worry, sir. Just do stay calm. I just want some information.
Watch what you're doing, sweetheart. We ain't got no information, no strategies, no plans to tell anyone, anywhere, anytime. Military regulations, you dig it, man?
I was going to...
I am... Strange. Sure, I left a bottle or two around here. I gotta get some air. Wall's getting pretty tight. We'll think about that blast off later, huh?
Are you okay, Colonel? Are you sure you're all right?
Yeah.
Be careful! Don't lean out too far or you'll...
Ah! What's happening? This water you got there, stop it! Now! You want me to drown?
Calm down, it's all right. Just a little wake-up call, that's all. You must have had quite a bit to drink.
Gee, you're right there. Not the first time, either. Probably won't be the last. Man, my head. Please, could you whisper?
Please, do excuse me. But it was the only way I could think of to bring you back to your senses.
A little extreme, maybe. But I get the impression you're a lady who likes to see results.
Does Arrowbad mean anything to you?
Arrowbad. It's been a long time since I heard that name. It's a spa resort now. Top brass of the regime, as well as convalescing soldiers, tired politicians, profiteers, rankers. Go live it up, no expenses paid. One privilege I'm 2 steps away from becoming the nation's hero.
And where exactly is this place?
Further east. We never had to know where exactly. The airship was programmed to take vacationers there. From here.
Don't you find it strange to see so many birds in the Cosmodrome?
It's the iron rafters. They love them. Nowadays, they can enjoy a bit of good old peace and quiet here. So, of course, they turn up in flockloads. Sometimes I send Soyuz onto them. Just like the good old days.
Soyuz?
Soyuz is the last Golden Eagle left in active service. We had to get the dumb canaries out of the way before takeoff, so what did we do? Set the Eagle on them. And you should see them fly. Soyuz, he's like a cat among the pigeons. Magnificent.
I've left my train in the Komkalsgrad station. Do you think it'll get in the way?
If I were you, I'd get out of there as quick as possible.
That's exactly what I intend to do, as soon as the director gives me back my automaton's hands. That's why I want to go to Arrowbad.
So go, and go quickly, and get back what belongs to you. With a man like that, you never know what might happen.
You don't like him very much, then?
I'll confess that since his accident, he's gone a little doolally. These days, I stay clear of him, and you should do the same.
I don't really have the choice. I'm looking for someone. Hans Vorarlberg. And I think he came by here about 20 years ago.
Hans? You want to know if I know Hans? But of course. He invented one of the most incredible flying machines of the Cosmodrome. Christmas, good old Hans. Even after that dumb and dirty trick he played on me. But I wouldn't give to see him again.
What do you mean? What did he do to you?
Hans Vorarlberg and his famous flying wing. See, he invented this kind of spring-loaded launcher, capable of projecting a weird rocket into the stratosphere. It was red revolutionary hot, and I was going to be its first test pilot. Holy cow, what a job. And then several days before the launch, Hans disappears into thin air like that. Poof. The test program? Well, it's abandoned.
Just disappeared like that? Without saying where he was going?
You see, he wanted to hit the stars, but not bombs, if you get my drift. One day, Hans finally worked out what his launcher was really for. As the generals have always called the shots here, you realize, and when they asked Hans to screw a nuclear warhead onto his flying wing, well, he wasn't a happy man. So he left, just like that.
If everything was ready, why didn't you just wind the thing up and go flying after all?
Nobody understood machines here like Hans, especially not his own utopian inventions. You see, such inventions only live and breathe with their creator in the saddle. Without him, space travel became damn near impossible. Since then, well, I still like to travel, but in my own little way.
I'm beginning to understand a bit about how Hans Vorarlberg's inventions work. What is this one like?
I don't really know. As you can see, I'm a soldier, ma'am. Nothing more, nothing less. Not a goddamn aerospace engineer.
There aren't many vehicles on this base.
When they decided to close the Cosmodrome, they towed all the useful equipment away.
It doesn't matter. I'll find some other way.
If I can help you, please, just ask.
I came here by train, but unfortunately it broke down. I've got to get to Arrowbad immediately. Someone told me you might have a vehicle to lend me.
Someone? Who might that someone be? I hope you're not talking about Sergei Borodin.
Well, yes, I am. The director of the industrial complex below.
Be careful, ma'am. He is not a rational man. He can be mean and very dangerous.
He suggested I come and see you, actually. But I get the impression that he doesn't care much for you either.
I don't care what he thinks of me. All I say to you is, watch out for him.
Thank you.
It's been great talking to you.
This thing's jammed. This thing. I need a key. Sir? Do you think the airship still works?
No idea. It's been so long since it was used.
And then I've got to learn how to use it too.
You won't have any worries there. It has an automatic pilot. Go visit if you want. Here's the key.
Thanks. Right.
Don't you...
Doesn't look like that works. There you are. I was looking for you. I've managed to trigger the autopilot mechanism, but the airship still won't take off. Do you know why?
Maybe. I've got some idea. But you look like you're a pretty good mechanic.
Let's just say that since the start of the journey, I've managed to get by and get to know Hans Vorarlberg's strange contraptions.
Okay. I have a deal to make with you. I've been living in this dumb launcher site for years. And I've always said that one of these days I'm going to the stars on that flying wing. And I better make that trip before vodka stews my brain. But I gotta know how it works. And you look like you might have some clue at least. If you could help me get to the stars, I'll tell you how the airship works. What do you say? We got a deal?
Why not? I'll see what I can do for you. That's going to... Comrade Boris, I need a few drops of your blood.
Excuse me?
To get the centrifuge going, we'll need to analyze the pilot's blood. If you're going to the stars, you've got to be in good health, you see? That's why I need a blood sample. It won't hurt.
There's two things a good soldier is always ready to do. Drop his pants and spill his blood. Go ahead.
I'll only be needing your blood.
My pleasure, ma'am. Ow!
Okay, I think I've figured out how it works. Get settled in and let's go.
professional pilot. Miss Walker. Come in, Miss Walker. Are you receiving me?
Clear as smog. Can you speak up?
I'm ready. Press the launch button.
Takeoff procedure engaged. Countdown commencing.
Colonel, you've forgotten to tell me the secret of the airship. What do I have to do?
The airship will need to be right up.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have liftoff.
Doesn't look like that works. Hello?
What do you think you're doing, Kate? I wanted updates. I wanted results.
Certainly, Mr. Marson. We all do. Down on the ground, we're doing all we can, but there's no new developments.
Kate, I don't think you understand the urgency of this situation. Universal toys are on my back and digging in. I can't hold them off much longer. You're putting the firm in a very tricky situation.
I am very sorry, but a slight mishap or two has meant that I've had to modify my mission temporarily.
Miss Walker, you're walking on a minefield here. I don't have to underline that this affair is Class A priority numero uno. Hot.
I am only too aware of that, Mr. Marson, and believe me, I am doing all I possibly can. But this mission is really no piece of cake.
You can have all the cake you want and eat it too when you get home. Next time I call you, I want something concrete, something solid. I want results. You understand? Results.
Yes, Mr. Marson. I don't need to do that. That is so beautiful. Good morning, sir.
Good day to you, ma'am, and welcome to the Hotel Kronsky. I don't expect you've made a reservation, have you? Well, no matter. We've got a few rooms left with a sea view. By far the best on offer.
Well, actually, I wasn't counting on staying in Arrowbad.
I see. It's like that then. So, what can I do for you?
It's a real shame that there aren't any guests at your hotel.
We had our moment of glory, but now it's all in the past. That's all.
Doesn't it make you sad?
Why should it? Once upon a time I met the greatest of the great. Now I got my memories. Sweet memories.
Could you tell me if a certain Hans Vorarlberg has ever been here?
On a spa holiday?
Yes, that's it.
I'm sorry, but our hotel register is strictly confidential.
Come on, please. It's not like it's a state secret you're telling me here.
And if I just let you consult our register, what am I going to get out of it?
My eternal gratitude?
That's just what I was expecting. Adieu, as the French say, madame.
Sir, I really could use your help.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but my helping hand only serves my hotel guests.
Well, let me just say that by helping me out, you'd also be helping out one of your very own guests.
Ma'am, I'm not to be wound around anyone's little finger. You hear?
I want to meet someone who lives here.
That's very inconvenient. None of my customers said they were expecting someone. You can't just turn up like that. We've got a very strict policy. In this day and age, the hotel ain't too open to, impromptu visits from any Tom, Dick, or Harry.
Please, I absolutely must speak with her. It's very important.
If it was that important, all you had to do was ring the hotel. People come here to rest, you see, to get away from the world, which ain't turning so good these days. Don't let me keep you. Good day to you, ma'am.
Honestly, if I could have called, I would have called, but I couldn't. So please, can you bend the rules just a little, sir?
Ma'am, in this hotel, we don't bend nothing for no one. With respect.
Usually I travel on this fantastic...
Of course it is. What were you suggesting? If I'm not very much mistaken, that's your air balloon I see getting blown to shreds in the hotel garden.
Oh, yeah, the airship.
Whatever. You better think about getting it off there, and quick. With that contraption on my lawn, some of my clientele might have a relapse.
Well,
At your...
The door's locked, but I've still got to get in there.
Penalty! Attack! 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 No! Oh!
Sir?
You again? You're beginning to really overstep the mark. I warn you, one more and I'm going to... But what the hell's going on over there? Why is it me gets hell to pay when there's already too much work to do?
The door's locked, but I've still got to get in there. That door is locked. Hello there.
Good afternoon, miss.
Are you the hotel barman?
My name is James, miss. James, the automaton nurse. I am not a barman.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to upset you.
If you don't mind, miss, I would appreciate it if you would just be a little more rigorous in the terms you employ in the future.
Do you know Komkalsgrad? I left my train there with its engineer. You'll never guess what. It's an automaton just like you. There's even a family resemblance.
Firstly, I would say that I do not know Komkolsgrad. Secondly, I have never taken a train. Thirdly, the existence of another automaton with such a degree of finesse as myself appears very unlikely. Madam has always assured me that I am a unique model, a gift from a former admirer.
Yeah, but you two really do look alike. And you know, I miss him.
Why is he not here with his train then? I would never allow Madame Romansky to leave on her own.
It's a long story, but hopefully I'll see him again soon.
Such attachment is very touching, miss.
Have you ever heard of a Mr. Vorarlberg?
The name is not entirely foreign to me.
Really? You know Hans Vorarlberg?
That I cannot say, miss. Madam has forbidden me from talking about him and even mentioning his name.
Why?
Nostalgia, sadness, medication. Call it what you humans will. We never had this conversation, did we, miss? Madam would be very angry to learn that I know, and now you know as well.
Don't worry. Mum's the word. Can you take me to Helena Romansky?
Not at this hour, miss. Madam will still be watching the sea at the end of the pier.
So?
Madam knows perfectly well that during this season I don't go down to the pier. My wheelwork goes dicky under the double corrosive action of the salt and sand winds. Listen, you can hear them sweeping up and down the beach and out to sea. We call it the salt wind here. It'll drive us all crazy one of these days.
Come on. Just make a little effort.
No, I'll stay here and make ready for Madame in case she needs me. She can be so unpredictable, such violent swings of mood.
I'm looking for Madame Romansky. Do you know where she is?
3:30 to 4:30 p.m., Madame Romansky takes her daily constitutional on the pier. Tea is served at 5 o'clock sharp.
Is it possible to go see her?
As you wish, but do pay attention to the salt wind.
Well,
It would be a...
No point weighing myself down. No point weighing myself down. Doesn't look like that works. Darn it! That doesn't work. Just as I thought. Madam Romansky? Madam Helena Romansky?
Who are you? What do you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you, ma'am. My name's Kate Walker. I've come on behalf of Frank Malkovich.
Oh, Malkovich, the old son of a gun. Are you one of his heredity?
Not exactly. He's a good friend of my mother's. He told me you might be here in Arrowbad. I'm American, a lawyer.
To what do I owe your visit? You have come so far. It must be important.
Indeed it is. I have very delicate and pressing business to attend to. I have just left...
Later, my dear, later. I have a slight headache. This hotel mask will pinch so. I have to go in. Please, could you be so kind as to call my valet?
Your valet? Of course.
You back here again? How dare you show your damn face right here? Get out of here immediately!
Please, I absolutely must find...
Miss Romansky? Oh, yes. I'm sorry. She managed to lie away in here. Don't matter how vigilant you are, there's always one. But it won't happen again. She'll be out on her ear before you can say, I hope she hasn't upset you too much.
Oh, Felix. Stop being such a grizzly bear. This woman is my guest.
She's your guest? But that ain't possible. This vandal didn't even know you 3 hours ago.
Be quiet, Felix, before you offend someone.
Miss Romansky, please. This maniac turned up earlier and tried to wreck the fountain. If it wasn't for the...
I said enough, Felix. Please treat Miss Walker with the respect befitting one of my friends. Don't touch and don't swear. Have I made myself clear, Mr. Smetana?
Yes, yes, crystal clear, Madam Romansky. Please do accept my humble apologies.
Very good, Felix. You may go now.
that's going to work. James? James, where are you? I've rung for you several times. Madame Romansky wants you to bring her back inside.
Several times, you say? Are you sure? I didn't hear anything.
That's right, several times. Quick, go and get her.
This really is most tiresome, miss. If the bell really hasn't rung, then I'm going out for nothing. It's the salt wind. Too much, and it'll play havoc with my insides. If you don't mind, I'm going to wait for the bell to ring again.
Madame Romansky isn't going to like it.
Don't worry. You get used to it.
James, what are you waiting?
The bell did indeed ring, but it is very windy outside, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit gusty. But what's that got to do with it?
Madam doesn't understand. She says an automaton doesn't need protection, but my insides don't like the salty wind. I'm afraid to go out, you know.
And if you wore my mask to protect you against assault, would that help?
Oh, most certainly.
Katie Pooh. So, have you met her yet? This Helena person? What's she like? Does she remember Frank?
I'm up. Yeah, sure. I met her, and yeah, she's living in Arlbad. You can thank Frank for me again.
I'll remember to, honey. So, what's Arlbad like? Maybe Frank can take me there one day.
It's this seaside resort, Ma, but it isn't what it used to be. You'd be real disappointed.
Maybe you're right. So, when are you coming home? Is that mission all over then?
Not really, Ma. I still haven't found the heir I'm looking for to wrap up the case. Helena Romansky's a kind of detour here.
Listen, Munchkin, I get the distinct impression that you're being led up the garden path. Why don't you just come home, tell your boss this heir just doesn't exist, that you've done all you can, et voila. Do you want me to call him for you?
Ma, please, don't get involved. Looking for Hans Varlberg is what I'm being paid for. But I also just want to find him for myself.
Honestly, you're just as stubborn as your father. Don't complain that your mother didn't warn you.
Don't worry, I won't. It's a real honor to meet you, Madame Romansky. People have told me so much about you.
People still talk about me. Oh dear.
Of course. Everyone tells me how wonderful you were. How you were one of the greatest singers of the century.
Ah, so I was, my dear. But surely you didn't come here just to dig up the past.
You must have had a fantastic life. So exhilarating.
Ah, much more than you could ever imagine. I used to sing the finest melodies of the moment in the most fantastic theaters around the world. I have been hailed by kings and courted by princes. Grown men would sink to their knees when they heard the first notes of my recital. My voice could break crystal glass and hearts, many hearts.
I'm not surprised.
Then one day sickness steals away the gift life has given you. My voice started to betray me. I started to get migraines. My health failed. They sent me here to let the spa town weave its healing spell. I was only going to rest for a month, but then the month became a year and the years get longer.
But you look so healthy to me.
Oh, thank you, my dear.
Strange. I get the impression that Hans Varlberg turned up here, too.
You know Hans Varlberg?
Not exactly. I'm looking for him to sort out this inheritance case. But I've had to snoop around in his past a bit to get on his trail, and I guess he's kind of a close friend now. You knew him, didn't you?
Oh, yes. I knew Hans Wallerberg. Do you hear, James? Ah, if you had the chance to meet Hans. My Hans. Oh, my God. What has become of him? Where is he?
As questions go, madam, that one is not without certain complications.
I'm sorry, but I have no idea. That's the goal of my mission, to find Hans Varlberg. That's why I have to get back to my train as quickly as possible and to get out of Komkalsgrad.
And you cannot find him without the train?
The train is one of his last inventions. So is Oscar, the automaton engineer. I get the feeling that the two of them are going to lead me to him.
Did you hear that, James? I might see Hans again. I have dreamed so long of meeting my dearest sweetheart again. Oh, if only I could sing. If only I were in Paris, I would ask George for that miracle cocktail. The one that only he knew how to make. Wouldn't I, James?
Yes, madam. As you have frequently said, without that famous cocktail, your French tour would have probably been cancelled.
I don't understand.
An extraordinary tale, my dear. It was December, and it was terribly cold and damp. I had to play the role of Tatiana that evening at the opera. But since the morning, I had lost my voice. It drove me completely mad with worry. I don't know how George, the barman at the Moritz Hotel, heard about my affliction, but he brought me up a cocktail that he had invented. A strange concoction. But it turned out to be a miracle cure. My voice returned to me in an instant.
That's amazing. That's just what we need. We're going to mix you up a cocktail.
Ah, my dear child. It is impossible. George never told me the recipe of the drink. He loved to keep his trade secrets. He said it made him absolutely irreplaceable.
Well, I'm going to get George to tell me. He hasn't yet met with my powers of persuasion. Madame Romansky, please understand I would never have come so far to disturb you if I didn't really need your help.
I understand, my dear, but my health is failing me, as does my voice. Believe me, no one is sadder than I.
I'm wrapped up in a case at the moment, and because of it I met a certain Mr. Sergei Borodin, director of the Komkalsgrad Industrial Complex, situated to the northeast of here.
Ah, I remember that factory. Oh, a sad city indeed. What am I saying? They all were.
Madame Romansky, this Borodin is one of your biggest fans. If you could come and sing for him there, it would make one of his biggest dreams come true.
Sing? Oh, my poor girl. I have not sung for years. Time has taken its toll. My voice is like the rest of me. Faded and wan, like my heart.
Oh, aren't you going a bit far there? I bet you've still got a great voice.
Oh, you are the sweetest cherry, my dear. I am not senile yet, but I look reality in the face every time I look in the mirror, and I can tell you, singing is something I did in the past.
I'll let you eat. Hello, Hotel Moritz?
Reception here. Can I help you?
I'd like to talk to Mr. George. He's a barman at your hotel.
I'll connect you with the bar. Just a moment. Hello, hotel bar?
Hi, I'd like to talk to George, please.
George? You mean Mr. George?
Yeah, probably. He must have been a barman at the Moritz in the 50s.
Well, don't want to disappoint you, but Mr. George stopped working here quite a while ago. What was it about?
I've been told that Mr. George had a recipe for a fantastic cocktail, and only he knew the ingredients. I absolutely must know what was in it. It's a matter of life and death.
I'd love to help you, ma'am, but you see, old George, now he knew a lot of cocktails. One hell of a barman and one hell of a reputation. He did write down his recipes before he left. But if you can tell me which one you were looking for exactly?
I don't know. There are a lot of them, you say?
Yeah, the Paris Peking Shuffle, the Deep Green Secret, Boko Poco, Blue Helena, Red Mambo.
Helena! Yeah, that's the one. The Blue Helena.
Right, I'll take a look. Blue Helena, you say? Let's see. 1 measure of vodka, 1 measure of blue curacao, 1 measure of honey, a dash of lime and ice cubes. Shake it all together, and Bob's your uncle.
Perfect. Thank you very much, sir. You have been most helpful to me. I wonder how that works. My God. From what backwater of hell did you find this potion? Are you trying to poison me? It's, that is right.